Welcome to the talk on understanding the bilingual program and admissions requirements at Centrum Invictus. Just call me Xie Lao Shi because I'm a Chinese teacher, and the children also call me Xie Lao Shi. And they always find it very funny when they have to say thank you to me in Chinese, because they will go like Xie Lao Shi, and they always tickle them. Yeah. So in terms of my career, right now I'm holding 3 jobs because times are really bad. Okay, but that's just me joking. I'm currently the director of Chinese programs at Repton Schoolhouse, which is a bilingual preschool. And because our principal was denied entry after she went back to England for her holidays, so I'm also the acting principal for Repton Schoolhouse. Very soon in the near future, I'll be moving into my full role as the vice principal at Invictus Centrium. Before joining Repton Schoolhouse, I was the head of Chinese at SJI International Elementary School. We were actually one of the first schools in Singapore, first international school in Singapore to introduce the daily Chinese program. And during that time, many of the parents sent their kids to our school because of that reason. Before that, I was the head of Asian languages at SJI International, which is the high school of the elementary school. And I was in charge of Asian languages, including Japanese, Indonesian, Urdu, and so on. Prior to joining SJI, I headed the elementary Chinese section at UWC. I started my education career as the director of the Experiential Learning Center, which is a childcare at the Singapore Polytechnic. So my past career also included being a TV producer. I was a senior producer with the Ministry of Education. I produced in-house training videos and also educational programs for the schools. So Invictus started in August 2016. It is an independent co-ed school for both primary and secondary school expats. And within the last 4 years, we have grown phenomenally. So we do have 3 campuses now, one in Sentosa, and Centrium is in the process of being constructed. We are all really looking forward to be able to move into the Centrium campus. So if your child were to join Invictus, this is the expected learning journey. We start in grade 1 prep, and in the primary school, we adopt the IPC, International Primary Curriculum. When they move on to secondary school, it is the IMYC. In grade 9 and 10, they can choose from a variety of subjects from the IGCSE. For grade 11 and 12, we will prepare our children for the Cambridge International A-level. Right, this is where Centrum Invictus is going to be located, and we are a full school catering for the age of grades 5 all the way to age 18. It is purpose-built, and we are all waiting to move into the school. We will be occupying 3 stories at the Centrum building. It is located at Serangoon Road and very accessible by the Farrer Park MRT station. What are our core values at Invictus? First of all is respect. So not just respect for individuals, but for the environment and nature as well. And during this time and period, resilience is very important as we persevere through difficult times that we're all facing. And we would like to have our children striving for progress and success using their resilience. We'd also like to instill the sense of care for other people in a safe and sustainable environment. And the skills of collaboration are also taught to the students. They will learn to work with others, and we are not just one, and we are actually many. So if you can collaborate with others, you can achieve more than just one person alone. Excellence. So not just achieving, but striving to be the best in whatever you're doing. Most importantly, we would like our children to embrace joyous lifelong learning. In Chinese, we have a saying which is 活到老，学到老. That means to say, whatever your age, you should constantly seek to be learning and improving yourself. So you want our children to enjoy learning, and it should be a continuous journey. In our primary curriculum, we will be adopting the IPC. Now, the IPC is a comprehensive curriculum with very clear goals and specific learning objectives. It is a very popular curriculum that's been adopted by many international schools. And there are primarily 3 mileposts. Milepost 1 is for children who are aged 5 to 7. Milepost 2 7 to 9, and milepost 3 is for children who are 9 to 12 years old. So a little bit more about the IPC. The IPC is a brain-friendly approach. It uses a variety of methods, including taking into account intelligences to make sure that the children are learning at the optimal rate. So the units of work typically last for 5 to 12 weeks. There is an entry point, which is like a hook. It has got the wow factor to get children interested in learning. So example, if they are learning about traveling, the teachers and the children might be dressing up as pilots, as air stewardess, or as difficult passengers. So it's basically for them to become interested in the unit that they are learning. Following the entry point, there's a knowledge harvest where the teacher will find out exactly what the children know. So, and also encourage them to make connections to the previous knowledge. So again, it is a review of what they have learned and making connections, which is very important in learning. The teacher will then go on to explain the theme, showing that the children what the big picture is, and they will start to engage in research activities. That includes recording the activities and the findings of what they have done. And we all know that we all learn better by doing, not just reading or learning from the teacher. Now it culminates in the exit point, where the children become teachers. They will be sharing what they have learned for the entire unit to the other grades or the different students in the school. It is a good chance for them to enhance their learning and to deepen their knowledge of the unit that they're working on. This is our bilingual program at Centrum Invictus. As I said earlier on, we'll start with the grade 1 prep, which is for children who are turning 5. And it is all the way through to grade 6. So more about the bilingual program. So why the bilingual program? I'm really very excited about this implementation because there are many benefits of being bilingual. First of all, a person who's bilingual has got better focus and creativity. They are able to just focus and switch from task to task, and the attention is very much focused on what they are doing. There is also greater mental flexibility, creativity, and divergent thinking. So the mental functions are very effective and they are faster than people who are monolingual. And if you are bilingual, it's always easier for you to pick up a third language. People who are bilingual learn new words very effectively. And another added advantage, there is healthier mental aging and delays the onset of memory loss. So you have found the antidote to Alzheimer's. If you are still monolingual, it's not too late. Go join another language during this time. Another benefit of bilingualism is that it builds the brain's executive system. So this is like the CEO of the brain. When you are learning 2 languages, your brain has to function between these 2 languages. So what happens is that the synapses in the neurons are being fired all the time. So they have to make the connections, and your synapses just continue to grow. So very important, and basically in very layman terms, you become very smart. I think most importantly, being bilingual also means that you're able to build social bonds. Because you're exposed to another culture, another language, you will find it easier to take on other people's perspective. So you are not just in your own vacuum, but you understand that there are other views and other cultures in the world, and you're more ready to befriend someone from another culture. What's so unique about our bilingual Invictus programs? First of all, the children are immersed in a language-rich environment that includes both English and Chinese. So besides the formal lessons and daily interactions in both languages, the children are encouraged to make conversations. They are encouraged to engage in discussions and find out things for themselves. So not just the teacher feeding them, they have to find out and research into areas that they are interested in. For music, PE, and art, we are intending to have these lessons in Chinese. So I'll share with you a little bit more about the details of the subjects that will be taught in Chinese in a later slide. We will also be integrating IPC into Chinese lessons. So some terms in mathematics and science would also be taught in Chinese. And our ultimate goal is for our children to become confident, biliterate, and bicultural learners. So if you are really wanting your child to be bilingual and to be very fluent in Chinese, look no further, we are the place that you should. What are the subjects that we taught in Chinese? So besides the daily Chinese language lessons, where we will be doing formal teaching in terms of the reading, writing, listening, and speaking, we will also be teaching music, art, and physical education. So the children might learn a Chinese instrument, they will learn Chinese calligraphy and Chinese painting. And for physical education, we intend to have the children learn Kung Fu or Chinese martial arts. So be prepared to have broken vases in your home when your children show you their Kung Fu moves. Right, so for the Chinese integrated program, as I mentioned earlier, it is for us to integrate IPC units into our Chinese program. We will also be rolling out a reading program because we want our child to be biliterate as well in terms of reading Chinese and reading English. We are very committed to our children learning Chinese, as you can see from the daily Chinese contact time. In grade 1 prep and grade 1, there will be 60% of Chinese being taught in the daily curriculum. And you can see that in grade 5 and 6, there is still quite a high percentage of contact time in Chinese. It is close to about 40%. Now I will take you on to the admission requirements. Who can apply? So all children for age 5 to 11 will assess the students' skills in mathematics and English to ensure that they meet our requirement. What about the Chinese requirement? If you are joining us in grade 1 prep or grade 1, there is no prior knowledge required because we are confident that if your child joins us at this age, we will be able to help them acquire a high standard in Chinese. So for grade 2 onwards, they are required to have passed the YCT level 1. The YCT is a standardized international Chinese language test. If your child does not have this certification, please do not worry because our teachers will be conducting the assessment. And even if they are not able to meet the required standards, we will be helping them, and this is what we'll be doing, and I'll show you in the next slide. We'll be providing after-school Chinese supplementary lessons for children who do not meet the requirement. It is mandatory for children who are not meeting the standards at the required grade. So for grade 2 to 4 students, it'll be 2 times per week for an hour each, and grade 5 to 6 is 3 times per week. Mainly because if they are joining us in grade 5 and 6 and their standard of Chinese is quite minimal, we really want them to catch up. For this additional classes, the additional cost will apply. And this is conducted out of curriculum time. It is from 3 to 4 p.m. So this takes priority over the other ECAs. If you are intending to sign up your child for other ECAs, it has to be on the days that they are not required to take supplementary lessons in Chinese. I have come to the end of my presentation and we will have a question and answer session. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Please raise your hands if you have any questions and we'll be very happy to answer any of your queries.
Parents out there, we have muted you while Bilingual was doing her presentation. Please feel free to unmute yourself. If you raise your hand, we are happy to call you and then you can raise your question to us. Yes, Baron.
Yeah, my name is Baron. I'm the father of 2 kids. Barry is grade 5, I think, and I think year 5 or something. And Jordan, grade 2. And my question is just like, would you be able to provide this presentation by email to us?
Perhaps we can do something better. We can actually share it later at the end of the session, and then everybody can actually take a look at the recording afterwards.
Okay, good.
Thank you. Right.
Thank you.
Next question, please. Yes. Is that Chance? Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Hi, can you hear us?
Yes, we can.
So I have my son is in grade 3, moving on to grade 4, and my understanding is that this new campus, grade 3 and 4 are going to be combined. Is that correct?
Yes, right now we are still admitting students. So depending on the numbers we get at grade 3 and 4, we might be combining these 2 classes.
Okay. Combined. I'm just wondering about how are you going to take into account students are a bit more advanced in certain subjects? How are we going to cater to their needs? Because that's one of the key concerns we have.
Sure. All right. So before we admit the students, we'll be doing assessment with them. So this is for us to find out what is their foundation like. And it is also for us to design our curriculum so that to best suit what the requirements are. So our teachers are actually very experienced, and they are not new to differentiated teaching. So with students who have of different levels, typically what we'll do is that we start a session with a common lesson. So this is like a group lesson where everybody will be learning the same content. This is for us to ensure that they have the required knowledge all the way through to grade 6. Following that, our teacher will be breaking into small groups. That's when the individual attention will be given to students who are of different levels. So we are experienced in doing that, and we're quite confident that it will work for us.
Okay. And if I can just ask one more question, and that's on extracurricular activities. Will you be offering the same extracurricular activities that are available on the other campuses, or what does the extracurricular activity look like for this campus?
I'd be happy to answer that one. Hi, I'm Raquel. I'm the admissions officer. For the extracurricular activities at Dempsey, we currently do have a wide range of options. We have had time to build up on our ECAs, and as you probably know, we do change it from semester to semester depending on the demand that we have with our families, what ECs that they're interested in, and make sure we have enough, because with some of the ECAs, they do require third-party companies who are more specialized in certain areas. With that said, Centrium is a new campus. We will likely have a lot of academic ECAs, at least for the first semester. And in that first semester, it gives us time to get to know our families, the students, what they're interested in, and we could take that into account when considering adding on more extracurricular activities in the second semester or the following year. So we could easily have 100 students join us, but if none of them are interested in signing up for, let's say, football, then that wouldn't make sense for us to add football. So we need to make sure that when we're adding these ECAs, we do have the students who are interested. So definitely, just to answer your question, yes, we'll have academic ECAs in the beginning, but we do need time to add on to our ECAs.
If I may add on to what Raquel said, we will also be offering sports such as swimming. And in addition to that, we will also have music ECAs conducted by our music teacher. So there'll be a range of ECAs depending on the take-up rate also. So we look forward to your child benefiting from a holistic education.
Thank you.
Yes, Jill, would you like to unmute yourself?
Yes, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. One of the main reasons we chose Invictus is because of the facilities, because we actually loved the campus, the Dempsey campus. But watching at this image you showed us, this is quite different. And as per the things I could read in the webpage, this will have access for a public swimming pool, if I am not mistaken, and access to close by parks. When are the facilities going to be ready, like for an open house or something? I mean, I understand the situation right now. It's not an option, but I guess this will be available eventually.
Yes, thank you for your question. It's a very meaningful question. There are actually a range of facilities available around Centrium area. That includes, we are actually working with the Civil Service Club to make available the swimming pool for our students. So that will be it's like a club with a Olympic-sized pool as well as children's swimming pool. So that will be a facility that we will hope to make available to our students. And Centrum is actually located very near Farrer Park, where there are Farrer Park fields as well as tennis courts. So we will be exploring the use of these facilities also. So what we do is we try to optimize on the facilities around the neighborhood and not spend extra to build on the sporting infrastructure. So in that sense, we are working towards that. The renovation, like what you mentioned, because of this circuit breaker, the renovations have been delayed. We hope to have the open house subsequent once the new academic year begins. So we look forward to you visiting the campus as well. We can also show you the surroundings and the facilities around the location. So every campus has its strengths, Like Dempsey, it's very pleasant, a lot of greenery. It's in the colonial style buildings. So it has its own uniqueness. Centrium also has its own strengths, such as it's located 2 minutes from the MRT station. It's located across the road. You have a big mall with different facilities and like supermarkets, shops, dining options. So every campus that we select has its own strengths. Likewise, Dempsey has its attractions. Centrium also has its own attractions. So we look forward to welcoming you to the campuses.
And when is the time limit to enroll my kid to this new campus?
Okay.
We are not pretty sure. Actually, right now he's at Dempsey campus.
Okay, enrollment actually has started, so we actually invite. We actually invite you to state your interest. You can register interest with Raquel and go into the system, and then she will follow up with you. And once the new academic year begins, you can join us. At the same time, if you like to wait a while longer, we understand also. Raquel will share her details in the chat group, and you can follow up with her.
Are there any more questions in the room? We welcome questions from parents. If you have a doubt, please feel free to raise them today so that we can actually address your doubts. Is there anyone with a question? Nope. Okay. Oh, yes, please. Brandon.
Yeah, Brendan here. So obviously we've got our son Herbie, potentially plan to join in August. Now, obviously, I'm guessing sort of whilst the Centrum campus is getting completed, they'll be up at the Dempsey campus. Do you foresee any sort of, I guess, with a student joining a new school, starts to get comfortable with the environment he's sort of in, and then all of a sudden he then will then get moved to the Centrum campus when that's ready? Do you foresee that being a problem at all, just with, our son's been at the same preschool since he's been in Singapore for over 3 years now. So just that adjustment to environments, will he be working with the same teachers? I'm guessing so. And will they sort of move over? Will that change at all? Just those sort of things, really.
Thank you for your question. Maybe I will help respond to that first, and then I'll invite Dr. Nick Duggan and also Pui Ling to join in. So generally, children are really adaptable. So I would like to believe that they should be able to adjust quite comfortably. So your child will be joining grade 1, right? So in grade 1, we'll actually have a class just for grade 1. So because our enrollment for grade 1 the interest is very high. So for that class, you will have dedicated teachers who will be teaching that class. And even if they relocate to a new campus subsequently, the teacher will follow through the class. So in that sense, I believe it's more than just the physical environment. It's also the relationships and interaction. So your child's classmate will follow him or her to the new campus. Likewise for the teachers. So there will be the sense of familiarity. There will certainly be some adjustment, but I believe children are really adaptable. So once they know who are their teachers, who are their friends and classmates, it'll be quite easy for them to readjust and to adapt. And each campus has its strengths and distinctive features. Yeah. So share that with the children, and we hope that they will enjoy learning, whether it's at Dempsey or at Centrum.
Yeah. It'd be the funny thing could be, does he really like Dempsey, and does he not want to go to the new campus? It's going to be maybe that thing. I think that was my key thing, is just, would they move as a group, the teacher and everything? So like you said, the familiarity would be really important, I think, in that.
Okay, thank you.
I think.
I can just add to that, Edmund. Basically, it's a good question. I've been a principal of a K through 12 school, or kindergarten through year 13, and I've been doing this for 35 years. And what's interesting is it's a good question, and it's a very parent-centered question. But what you'll find is your children are more resilient than you are. When you change job or city or country, it's quite stressful. What has been proved to stress very young children is the change of teachers, Edmund said. I'm just repeating what Edmund said. It's really, yes, they may well like the Dempsey campus, and that might be a decision for you in the future. But the reality is it's the teacher that your child will be totally hooked onto, and your teacher will move with your child. And that's really the most important thing. They're very resilient, and the teacher. This is why when I've been running kindergarten schools and young children's schools, I never change a teacher in the first few grades. I try and keep them the same for as long as possible. Okay?
I have worked with children who are only 18 months. So the first week of school, they cry their eyes out. But, you know, from the second week onwards, they will happily run into the classroom. That's because they have established very positive relationships with their teachers. And once they feel safe, they feel loved in their environment, they will just enjoy school. So yes, they are very resilient. They are very adaptable. So no worries at all.
Yeah, great. Thanks. That's good.
Hey, can I welcome other parents? If you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand and we're happy to answer your questions. Anyone? Nope. Okay. Well, yes,
sorry,
really.
Alex. Yeah,
please go ahead.
Please carry on. Okay. So if there are no further questions, we would like to close this talk and thank you very much for participating. If you are looking for a school where bilingualism is valued, please do not look any further. We are very serious about having our children here acquire both languages fluently and being very confident and being bicultural kids. So if you have any further questions, you're most welcome to ask us. Otherwise, we'll be closing the talk shortly.
Yes, and I have also taken the liberty to leave our website and telephone number to our admissions officer, Ms. Raquel, who will be answering all your questions. So if you have them, please feel free to email them across or call her directly on her mobile phone. Okay. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon, and we wish you a great weekend. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.